Good morning, everyone. It's January 3rd, 2019. Neumeyer warns of coming crash. They're trying to hold it up as much as they can. This comes from Max Lavo. Now, of course, this is going to be a short article, so I'm going to go ahead and knock two of them out in one sitting here. The second one, roaming mob of urban youth terrorized Chicago, attacking innocent citizens. There it is. All right. Over the last several weeks, U.S. stock markets have seen a whirlwind of action. As the holidays approached and stocks began to buckle, headlines blared warnings of a Christmas crash. In the first few weeks of December and up through Christmas Eve, stocks dropped 4,000 points on the Dow, a move that sent financial shockwaves across the world, as everyone from institutions to retail investors braced for the worst on Christmas Day. America's plunge protection team sprung into action. By the 26th, stocks had recovered a full 1,000 points in under 24 hours, and the Santa Claus rally was born. A Christmas miracle, to be sure. One that was fueled by massive injections of cash in a last-ditch effort to save the system before it broke through major market support levels. The mainstream media would have us believe that all is now well, but for those who lived through the 2000 tech bubble, it seems all too familiar. Just like 2000, we're now seeing what can only be described as obscene valuations for tech-related companies and broader stocks in general. And just like the bursting of the bubble in 2000, so too will we see familiar events unfold now. According to Keith Neumeyer, the CEO of the world's largest primary silver producer, First Majestic Silver, and chairman of First Mining Gold, we're at the early stages of another crash that stands to wipe out potentially trillions of dollars in wealth. Now understand that a lot of the financial stuff will not affect you if you're already poor. Unless, of course, there's a lot of layoffs and things like that. So, I look at this time frame that we're currently in very similar to 1999 through 2001. I think it's more trans-similar. I think it's almost identical. They're trying to hold it up as much as they can. This is going to be an ugly January and an ugly February. Going back to the top of the NASDAQ in March of 2000, we have all-time highs, exactly the same as we did in 2000, and now it's now crashing. And where's the money going to go? It's going to go exactly where it went back in 2002, when gold bottomed out at $250 per ounce and silver bottomed at $5 an ounce. Over the next decade, silver went up 10 times and gold went up 8 times, and the mining stocks went up 5, 10, 20 times in some cases. That's the kind of government or environment we're at the beginning of, and that come from an interview from SGT report. So, 2018 had plenty of civil strife, plenty of economic strife, plenty of government abuse, and I think probably 2019 is going to be even worse than 2018. And of course, 2018 was a little bit worse than 2017, so this should not be a surprise. And again, unless you're really rich and you have a bunch of money wrapped up in the stock market and other investments, the only way this is going to affect you is if more companies start closing their doors and start laying people off. I don't really give a shit if a bunch of rich people lose all their money. As a matter of fact, I would like to see that happen. I would like to see some of these scumbags jumping from their New York high-rises. And I know that's a grim, terrible thing to say, but that's how I feel about them. And here we are at offgridsurvival.com. Roaming mob of urban youth terrorized Chicago, attacking innocent citizens. Over the holiday weekend, numerous reports of citizens being attacked and businesses having to close because mobs of black teenagers were terrorizing the city were reported in Chicago. Of course, you won't see this story on mainstream cable news networks. They won't touch issues like this because they are all in fear of being called bigots for reporting the truth. Every year around Christmas, we cover these planned attacks. Yes, they are planned, and law enforcement knows most of them are planned on social media, and most of the time the police and the media know it's going to happen. But it's not like these holiday urban terror attacks that you have to worry about. The truth is, these types of events are a daily occurrence in major urban cities throughout the United States. We never hear about them because the liberal media and governments who control these cities do everything they can to shift the blame or straight out lie about what happened. Holiday attacks in Chicago. At least 100 black teenagers terrorized the streets of Chicago on the 29th of December, attacking numerous Chicago Transit Authority subway riders and causing an entire mall to shut down after mobbing shoppers and stores. I saw them. They were on that side of the street when I got off the train. And they were blocking the entrance, said passenger Patricia Magia. It was really scary. It was a lot of them. A lot of them. And there were a lot of police presence there. So, and by the way, if a white person had drawn a weapon, a knife, gun, or whatever, and started stabbing these people in self-defense, they would be called racist. Following the subway attacks, the mob then stormed a nearby McDonald's, attacking workers and customers and causing the store to have to close. At least 50 teenagers were reported to be fighting inside the restaurant at 10 East Chicago. After the attack at McDonald's, the group of thugs headed to Watertown Place, where police estimated the crowd to be 50 or 60 strong. The group then headed east toward the lake, sparking widespread reports of assaults and fighting throughout the city. No sound. By 6:30 p.m., the attackers made their way back to the train station, where members of the group started attacking people at random. They then literally took over the subway, causing the entire red line to have to close. Here's footage from when they took over the subway system. These are some of the suspect members of a gang called Dun Boys that were caught on surveillance. Anyone with information about... No, I'm not going to even say that, because I'm totally against calling the police on anybody. If you run across a group of people like this, you use every weapon at your disposal to cause these people to be severely injured. That's what you should do. Because the police, they're not going to do anything about it. Obviously, they knew about it, just like the media knew about it and allowed it to happen. So, if you live in Chicago or in a large city, carrying a gun, knife, and other weapons with you is a good idea. And if you get surrounded by groups of people like this, you start thrusting that knife into their stomachs. You start shooting them until there's none of them left. Saturday's attacks were the latest in a string of similar mob attacks along the Magnificent Mile in Chicago. Similar mob actions were reported in early May on Memorial Day weekend and on Thanksgiving weekend. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson has brushed off the incident as kids doing goofy things. Let me ask you a question. How often do you see videos of white people, mobbing or jumping others like this? I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, because obviously in some instances, white people do behave like this, but not very often. The vast majority of behavior like this comes from the black community. The truth is, the police in these cities do not care about your safety. In a matter of 2 seconds, by searching Dun Boys on Facebook, you can find all the thugs in these videos, yet the Chicago police pretend they have no idea who these people are. They not only plan these attacks on social media, but they are openly bragging about it as well. Protecting yourself in these types of attacks. As I said, you should have a couple of different weapons on you. You know those batons that extend? A couple of them would be a pretty good thing too. A couple of them would be nifty. But it starts with situational awareness. Being able to protect yourself begins with having a good sense of what's going on around you. That means putting down the phone and paying attention to your environment. As I suggested in a previous article about protecting yourself during a flash mob situation, being keenly aware of your environment is one of the most important precautions you can take in any situation. Realize these attacks can happen anywhere, even at places that you've visited thousands of times in the past. These types of criminals like to attack. See, they totally have shitty grammar. These types of criminals like to attack malls and large events, so you must stay aware of your surroundings at all times, even in areas where you routinely visit. Put down the cell phone and pay attention to your environment. It's hard to know what's going on around you if you have your head buried in a motherfucking electronic device. Trust your instincts. If something doesn't seem right, pay attention to your gut feelings and get the fuck out of there. I cannot tell you how many times I've ignored my instincts, and it was to my own peril. Ignoring your instincts can get you killed. Watch out for large groups. If you notice any abnormal increase in the number of people in your area, this is probably the first sign that something's about to happen. And they go on to say, consider carrying a firearm. Now, a lot of you people are hung up on legality. I am not. Not in the slightest bit. Carry a firearm, and if these people or anyone else attacks you, you use it on them, and then you leave. So, just be aware of what's going on, because these types of groups will beat you until you're on the ground, bleeding, and possibly dead. They're just as bad as the cops. Or almost as bad. So, be on the lookout for things like this to happen, because they are going to pick up pace, and you may be the next victim of one of these attacks. And remember, you carry a weapon with you, whether it be, actually, you should probably carry multiple weapons on you, from a gun to batons to knives. And if you have to use the weapons, use them and disappear. Hope everyone has a great day. Until next time, kill the state before the state kills you.